and welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you are new. I am not used to starting out videos this way, but today is going to be a plan with me video. I didn't really dive too much into the setup of this planner when I initially opened it, so I figured I would at least show you what I kind of worked out when I went over our school year. I have this area marked off here because this is where I labeled the school district, and I just didn't want that information in here, but as you can see, this is kind of how I just laid things out. These 3 weeks here, this is what I talked about in my July update video. These are the 3 weeks we are going to be taking off for our move. So I kind of planned things around our move and just when I wanted to end the school year, all of that stuff. But I really don't want to go too deep into this. I want this video to be fairly quick. So let's get to today. This is last week and I actually didn't get everything done. So I am going to be making some adjustments based off of just what we did not hit last week. But one of the things I love about this planner is that I can take these pages out, and that is exactly what I like to do when I plan. So I will just get right to doing that first. One of the things I love about the curriculum that I am using this year is that most of it I can access on my computer. So I have my computer right here so that I can look through it and just write everything down in my planner. There's only like one, I think there's only one, I think it's only Sunlight that I don't have the access online. So I love the online access. It makes it easier for me to plan no matter where we are. But I'm just gonna zoom in real quick and show you what we are working with here. Okay, so if you didn't see my previous video where I unboxed this, I have language arts, social studies, science, math, art and music, and then at the bottom of Emmy, I'm not going to be really doing much of anything because I haven't started her like official pre-K curriculum yet, but we do still do things, just not anything that I really need to note for plans. But I'm going to start with Pinwheels. I really like the way Pinwheels is split up by day, and I really just list out what we're doing, what day we are going to be working on within Pinwheels on here. And for some people that might seem unnecessary, like, well, if you already just have it listed out, already have the teacher's guide, why do you need to do any more? But I really do like to have one spot where everything is. I marked we'll be working on CK and ING, and the reason I just do that is it's an easy enough thing for me to quickly see, and if I have any other resources or I see any other resources that I want to throw in, then I know which days I might want to throw those things in real quick. The next thing in the language arts spot is going to be Core Knowledge Language Arts. We're actually starting a new domain this upcoming week. So we're going to be doing the human body. I'm going to be just adding this book in as we go, kind of just based on what Alani is really interested in, but to just dive a little deeper. But I'm really not concerned about diving too deep or having to slow things down because we are going to touch upon this again in science. So I went through and did a label for the different lessons so that I have a general idea, like digestion, circulation, of what's going to be covered. That way, when I go through this book, I can kind of just mark the page that I will need. Normally I put tabs in these books to make it easier, but because this is just going to be a different page basically every day, it would just be a lot of tabs and be overwhelming. And this makes it really easy to go through and just see what page you need. And so I think I'm just gonna write the page number and that's all I'm gonna do. No need to tab. And I have shown this book before, but what I really like about it is it has great information, but it also has really fun activities that you can do with just household items a lot of the time. Like, it really doesn't require you to run out and get too much. So I don't know how much we'll actually do, but we'll try to do a few different things. And then again, we'll be coming back to this through sunlight, so we can do some more things when we do sunlight as well. The next thing I'm going to be planning is social studies. We used Torchlight last week. We did South Africa. So this week I'm going to plan for Madagascar, and I want to lean into like the animals portion of it because I think the girls, both of them, will really enjoy that. Even though this is for Alani, there are some things that Emmy can jump in on and just have fun with. And these are the 3 books that I will be using throughout the week. So as I plan, I'll just make sure to note these pages, and I will use the page flags for this. So I have us doing the book that will intro the country. We'll look at an animal this day, and then we'll do a different book about the country, and then another animal this day. I might add in a library book as well, but we are still reading a library book we have on South Africa because that one just has had longer chapters. So I'm not sure that I'll add too much more when it comes to literature for this week. Now I just have to plan for next week, because next week we're actually going to be doing New Zealand, which is going to be completely different. And I don't think I mentioned it, but the reason I was going mostly with the books for this is because in the Torchlight curriculum, there was a heavy focus on South Africa when it came to the resources. So I kind of just wanted to do my own thing when it came to Madagascar. These 3 books are not part of the Torchlight curriculum. So I'm gonna go through, find the New Zealand pages I want, mark them, and then I will just add them into my planner on whatever days I feel like it's light enough for me to do that. So these are the books that I will be using for the 2 weeks between doing Madagascar and doing New Zealand. There's also a picture book that Torchlight recommends, and I think I'm probably just going to do that on the day that I marked for videos. So that is what I have for Torchlight. For Sunlight, I have this binder, and for some it might, again, seem redundant to write all of this down, but it's just something that I enjoy doing. I know this would go a lot faster if I used a digital planner, if I didn't even write anything, but I really actually like this part. I like writing it down. I like seeing it, putting it down on paper. It gives me more of an idea of what I am doing and makes me feel more part of the actual planning. So this is a week we already did. I just need to set us up on to the next week. And so I'll get this week, so week 5 and week 6, I'll just get written down in my planner. So that was pretty quick and easy. I got my days in. The only book we're using is still the Usborne Encyclopedia, so I don't have to really look for much else or do much else with that. And I really like having all of this because in the back of my planner, I have these trackers, and I find it easier when all of the things I'm doing are listed in the planner. I find it easier to keep up with the tracker. I'm not having to open a separate binder or open up my computer and figure that out. I'm checking off units for some things just because Pinwheels isn't really laid out very well for days for me to do it that way. But for core knowledge, it is really laid out very well in that way for like the different lessons. So I am able to track it that way for core knowledge. For Torchlight, I am tracking by unit. For Eureka Math, I am tracking by lesson. And then for Sunlight, I am tracking by week. So when I have everything just in my planner, it just makes this tracking a lot easier for me, and I like this visual. The way I plan for math is a little more complicated because I do use something that helps you consolidate or skip lessons depending on what it deems necessary. And obviously I go off of Alani as well, but I have found that that really works. I do know just from looking over it that we will be doing more with doubles facts. So I actually have something planned, an activity planned for the first day. You roll the dice and then you have to double the number in your head. It's supposed to be mental math, which we're working on. And then you cover, and whoever covers first, because she'll have a game board and I will have one, whoever covers first wins. And so I thought this was really cute. I printed it out, and this is what we'll be doing on the first day. But after that, I will be following the Eureka guide. All right, so as I mentioned, we have the math game here, and then I like to just write a little bit about what we are going to be doing in math. I like to kind of just have the focus here. And so I do write out just a little bit of a blurb of what we are going to be doing. For example, using the number path to count on. And we don't do math on Fridays. Well, we don't do math lessons on Fridays. I do still have her doing Zern. And as you can see, our number for Zern does not match our number for math. And I like it that way because Alani can do this independently. She's working on skills I've already taught her. And that's a lot of times when I'm able to work with Emmy. But I've got all of that laid out, and this information will also help me when I'm finding the specific YouTube videos that we do watch to go along with the lessons. So the last category that I have here is art and music, and you can't really see it, but somehow when this page arrived, it's only this page, when this page arrived, it was actually like cut. And so there was a very precise slice. That must have been a mistake in production. And so I have tape here, and luckily there's really not too much to write for art and music here, so it's not like I have to write over the tape or anything, but I do have it taped here. Luckily, I can just write up here and it's not going to be an issue. Since we had been talking a lot about the earth and weather and all of those different types of things, I chose the weather in art unit. So I'm not going in exact order with the units for this art curriculum that I am using. But we've really been taking it slow. Alani's really enjoyed it, but I really want to dive into each lesson like a little bit deeper. So we've only done 2 of these lessons. I'm going to open this up actually. So for the weather and art, we did elements of art. We did space and colors. And then we also did seasons in landscape. So this one was space. She learned about background, middle ground, foreground, and then she learned about warm and cool colors. Because that was so much, we did spread that out over some time. So that's what I mean, where we're like taking time to dive a little bit deeper. This has been really fun. She's really enjoyed this. The next ones we are going to do will be seasons in landscape for summer and fall, and then landscape painting, and she is going to create her own landscape painting, and then there is a review as well as like a little reflection. I wrote these out on specific days, but with art, I'm really not as like worried about what day we're doing it on. If we don't get it in this day, there's so much space to just move things around. So I'm super flexible with this, even though I did write it on specific days. So now I have my 2 weeks planned, ready to go. I am excited for these next few weeks. I feel like we are more into the swing of things, so it's gonna just go a little bit smoother. I've made adjustments. I'm just doing different things, trying to figure out what works, trying to figure out what she likes, what she doesn't like, those types of things. And I will definitely have a video up that kind of just recaps our first month of school, what I've changed, what is working, what's not. So make sure you are subscribed so you don't miss that. But that is going to be it for this Plan With Me. If you like videos like this, please make sure you like and subscribed so you don't miss out on future videos. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.